So Bayern Munich then against FC Köln in this one from the Bundesliga. Should be a really, really entertaining clash. I mean, there's always a wonderful atmosphere inside this ground. There's no doubt about that. And there's always the sense as well, I think, when you look at the Bundesliga and you look at the quality of the Bundesliga, it's just a real sense that it is a league which has got so much more potential, so much more capacity to improve in some respects, because quality is there and fan ownership model in the clubs is such a big part of what the Bundesliga is all about too. It is really an imperative part of the core ethos of the Bundesliga, and the clubs and the fan bases are so signed up to that. And there's always a continual kind of debate in Germany about fan ownership and just about how important it is for the future of the Bundesliga, and how important it is in terms of just getting enough out there to compete really with the clubs like in the Premier League, of course, that are owned by such big institutions and effectively owned by countries in many ways as well. So it's always very difficult indeed to compete with that kind of thing, but certainly for the Bundesliga it is so the score is 0-0, and the atmosphere is absolutely electric inside this ground as well. There's absolutely a sense today that nothing less than victory will do for Bayern as they try and get a bit of momentum ahead of that game against Arsenal. For Köln, well, I mean, there's no doubt they'll take a point today. I mean, you've got to believe that that's the kind of quality, that's the kind of thing that you expect certainly from Bayern. You expect them to come up with the goods and really produce the goods today. apologies for the slight delay in transmission here, but the pitches are now up and good to go, and it is 0-0 between Bayern and Köln. You haven't missed much in the game so far, and there's plenty of sun actually in Bavaria today. It's that kind of springtime in Bavaria that's so beautiful to watch, and Eric Dyer playing the ball out for the back, and Bayern now progressing on the left hand side, and Tell's making inroads, and Tell just skips away from his man, and Tell is trying to make things happen, but the free kick goes against him, and the ball is played back to the Köln goalkeeper, and there will be now a free kick for the visitors, and that will no doubt be a bit of a welcome relief, and Tielemans will take it on the right hand side for Köln, and the referee just making sure he goes back a few yards to take it from the correct position. 9.5 minutes played. Bayern 0, Köln 0 in the Bundesliga this Saturday afternoon, and so it is Bayern who are in possession inside the centre circle, and Köln just quickly whipping the ball back. And Bayern now do have the ball. It's an interesting shirt mixture today out there, because Köln are in the red shirts and the white shorts. Bit of a clash, you would have thought, with the Bayern kits, but yes, we continue as it is, and Köln now have an opportunity down the right hand side. They're working the ball neatly enough, and it's been a bright start from FC Köln in the game so far, and the ball has swung over to the right hand side, and all of a sudden it's gathered now, and Köln gather the ball just outside the penalty. A pot shot at goal, took a little nick as it went through, did it? No, in fact the ball is out of play harmlessly. It was Heinz who had an effort on goal from 25 yards out. You can't argue with him taking it on from that kind of range, because it was there to be struck, and now Eric Dyer will bring the ball out for Bayern. Eric Dyer goes to his right hand side and the lift, and in turn Kimmich is invited forward, and Kimmich just touches the ball inside, and Bayern now in possession just outside the centre circle, and it's swept to the left hand side now for Bayern. Again, Tell is the intended target, and there could be an opportunity now for Pavlovic with a touch inside. Tell's inside the penalty area. Tell's effort beaten away by the goalkeeper Schwaber, and Bayern are getting a little bit closer and starting to find their groove in the game. So the ball is on the right hand side with Bayern, and it's cleverly worked to Kimmich, and Kimmich now inside the penalty area. His cutback didn't quite come off. Thomas Müller was lurking inside the confines of the penalty area, and in the end the ball is just scraped away, at least momentarily, as Bayern try and find a way through. So Bayern Munich 0, Köln 0 in the game so far. No real chances to speak of as yet. Tell just did have a moment about a minute or so ago where he curled the ball right-footed, but it just moved away from the goalkeeper's left-hand side, and he actually did pretty well to palm it away, did the keeper, to partial safety, at least temporarily. Here's a bit of sunshine. The t-shirts are out in Bavaria. It is Bayern 0, Köln 0 in the game so far, and Bayern Munich, of course, with that massive game to be played against Arsenal in midweek, in what will be a really, really buzzy crowd, you feel. I mean, the Allianz Arena is going to be bouncing for that one, isn't it? Really bouncing, because it just got so much quality. And Arsenal in the Champions League, actually they will feel they can get at them, but Arsenal with so much quality of their own. Bayern now with a cross played towards the back post, but beyond everyone. And Thomas Müller just raises an arm to apologise for the overcooked cross. There's a shot in the crowd, actually, of the Bayern hierarchy. Obviously never too far away from the conversation, are they? And who will be the next boss of Bayern? I mean, it's a really interesting one. Oh, either way, I mean, so many names linked to it. And Bayern now have the ball on the right hand side, but Köln win it back, and Köln go down the line. It's flicked on intelligently, and Köln now trying to make things happen down that left hand side. Bayern want the ball back, and it's gathered now by Kimmich. Kimmich takes the throw quickly, and Bayern will build from deep, and Bayern have the ball with Kingsley Coman, but the whistle has gone because Joshua Kimmich was fouled, and Bayern have a set piece. So set piece which will be taken inside their own half. A set piece which Bayern will look to operate pretty swiftly, and Dyer zips the ball out to his left-hand side, and Mazraoui cuts infield, and Köln just can't get near the ball at this present moment in time. Gathered by Mazraoui. Mazraoui was making inroads down the left-hand side. Mazraoui with the throw. Goes back inside to Guerrero, and now it will be a throw that Guerrero takes, and Harry Kane's dropping a little bit deeper, and Bayern are dominating possession in the centre of the park, and it's gathered now by Eric Dyer, right on halfway. Eric Dyer opens up his body, right-footed, swings it to his right-hand side, and De Ligt with a little bit more pace and purpose to his right-hand side now, and Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman goes on the outside. Kingsley Coman cutting inside. Still Kingsley Coman for Bayern. And it's launched away towards halfway by Köln. And it will be Eric Dyer and De Ligt, a combination of those two players, to deal with the situation and knock it away. So Bayern Munich 0, Köln 0 the score, and it is still a game where there have been very few chances as yet. Free kick will be taken now by Bayern, because Eric Dyer was just bundled over. It's a nice turn actually by Eric Dyer, and he felt the challenge from behind from Mayan, and Bayern now will come forward on the right hand side, and it's helped towards Harry Kane, beyond Harry Kane, and Köln now trying to build out from the back, and Köln rather directionless, and Eric Dyer will go all the way back to his goalkeeper Ulrich, and it's gathered outside his area now by Pavlovic. Pavlovic keeps it moving, and Kimmich will gather. Kimmich to Kingsley Coman, and Kingsley Coman inside, and Bayern are popping the ball around nicely, but really without creating too much in the game. It's collected now by Thomas Müller on the right hand side. Thomas Müller cuts inside, and now Bayern will come again, and all of a sudden Bayern have the ball with Kimmich, and Kimmich's been really involved so far. Clip forward now, and it's back in towards Harry Kane. He couldn't quite get on the end of it. It was Müller who did keep it alive, and it is Köln now who try and bring the ball away, but it will bounce back now to Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman just outside the penalty area for Bayern. Kingsley Coman does gather. He's got Kimmich in support. It remains Bayern Munich 0, Köln 0 in the game so far. Köln, of course, fighting for their lives at the foot of the Bundesliga table, and Bayern, well, very much a sense of them just wanting to stay as close as possible to Bayer Leverkusen. Clearly the title's long gone, but just in terms of a bit of pride for the remainder of the season, it'll be a key element, you feel, for Bayern in this remainder of the season, just not letting Leverkusen, for example, win the title by 20 points or anything similar to that. I mean, they've been clear at the top for a while, and it remains Bayern 0, Köln 0 in this one, in this Saturday afternoon Bundesliga clash. Bayern Munich 0, Köln 0 is the score. No real chances as yet to speak of, just the one really from Tell, when Tell cut inside, extracted a good save from Schwaber in the Köln goal. Nearly 18 minutes on the clock, and the ball is at the back with Schwaber, and Schwaber just assessing his options left and right. Schwaber goes out to his right hand side, and now they will come once again, will Köln. Cannoned off Tell, and out of play for a throw in. And Thomas Tuchel is on the edge of his technical area, and it looks as though Tillman's going to take the throw in the splendid backdrop, I should say, of the Allianz Arena. Free kick awarded now for Bayern right on halfway, gathered by Tell. Tell kept the ball alive, and De Ligt and Eric Dyer just popping the ball around amongst themselves, and Bayern have the ball inside the centre circle, and gathered now by Pavlovic, and Pavlovic finds Eric Dyer, and Eric Dyer does gather, and Eric Dyer swings the ball to his right hand side, and Bayern Munich will move the ball forward once more, and it's collected now by Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman does gather, and Joshua Kimmich nudges it back, and Kimmich back it goes, and all of a sudden now it's collected by Dyer, and forward come Bayern again on the right hand side, and Kingsley Coman gets a touch on it, and it's gathered now by KOLN on the right hand side, and they have the ball once again to KOLN, and Heinz has been pretty involved in the game so far, and Bayern just dropping a little bit deeper, and the game is really engaging watch so far, albeit without the benefit of additional goals, or any goals indeed, for the neutral perspective. So Bayern Munich 0, KOLN 0 is the score, and with 19 minutes played, it is KOLN who bring the ball away through Schwaber in towards Christensen, and forward come KOLN now on the left hand side. It's swung in by Miner into a great area, wonderful save by the goalkeeper, and pushed away. Ulrich had to be in absolutely great form to just nudge the ball away from point blank range, really, as Bayern now have a goal kick and they'll be able to clear the danger. But my goodness, what a chance that was for KOLN. Ball swung into the penalty area, and what a chance it was for Adamian. Adamian was about 6 yards out, and he really should score from that range. He really should, but Ulrich was there just to knock the ball away, but my goodness, how close was that? And inside the opening 20 minutes, that's the best chance of the game so far. It's a chance that falls in KOLN's favour as well, as Bayern do gather the ball at the back, and Eric Dyer knocks it forwards, collected now by Mazraoui. Mazraoui collects, and Eric Dyer does likewise, and now it's De Ligt, and De Ligt just looks up and assesses his options, and De Ligt visits the ball to his right hand side, and all of a sudden here come Bayern once again, and Bayern now with Kingsley Coman, and Kingsley Coman gliding inside. Kingsley Coman keeps it moving, but he just nudges it beyond everyone, and is collected now by Tell. Tell passed it 5 yards inside, and now Bayern will just build from the back, and Eric Dyer gathers, and Eric Dyer plays it to his left hand side. Now it's gathered by Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman passed it inside towards Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer to De Ligt, and forward come Bayern once again. Opportunity now on the left hand side, and Bayern trying to find a way through, and it was a half-hearted shout for a penalty. Never going to get a penalty for that. The game is opening up though, and here is De Ligt. De Ligt keeps the ball moving on the right hand side, and he wants it back to his Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman's touch though was a little bit heavy, and eventually the ball is out of play. Well, it was a great chance, wasn't it? It was Finkrap who swung the ball into the penalty area. Damian very nearly managed to find a way past the Bayern goalkeeper. Ulreich did really well, and KOLN are playing some pretty good football out there, you know. Alidou with a good touch on the right hand side. Alidou keeps it moving, and it's gathered now by KOLN, and it's swung out to the left hand side, and it's a good touch too, and then flung beyond everyone, and it will be a throw in for Bayern, which Mazraoui will take. All of this being played inside the Bayern half as they sweep the ball left to right. Bayern do gather once more and hoist it long on the right hand side towards Kingsley Coman, but beyond Kingsley Coman, and it is out of play for a throw in. Bayern with 64% possession, and only the one shot on goal that came from Matthias Tell, and KOLN have had 3 shots in total, and came closer to scoring than Bayern in the game so far, past the midway point in the first half. It is Bayern Munich 0, KOLN And Bayern coming towards the edge of the penalty area, and it was Kingsley Coman who was trying to make inroads, and now Bayern do win the ball back in a very promising position. No free kicks as the referee. It's gathered on the left-hand side by Tell. Tell with a lovely pirouette. Here is Tell. Tell bursting towards the penalty area. A touchdown from Thomas Müller. It's Müller's effort, takes a big deflection on it, and it's nodded back to the goalkeeper, Schwabe. And Tell is down in a heap still. It was a lovely pirouette from Tell to create the opportunity first time, and he just couldn't quite find a way in the end to create the opportunity. So, Bayern 0, Köln 0. It's rolled out to the left-hand side by Köln, and they will build again. They'll be delighted at how they played in the opening 25 minutes of this game, will Köln. And Köln have the ball on that left-hand side, and it's regathered now by Chabot and Christensen and Ljubicic. I think have been magnificent in the centre of the park, and the way they've just managed to stifle Bayern. Yes, Bayern have had more of the ball in the game, but I think the manner in which Köln have played and the manner in which Köln have managed to just win a lot of those 50-50s intelligently, and ultimately managed to find a way to stifle this Bayern side, has been very impressive indeed. So FC Bayern 0, Köln 0 in the game so far. And just a one chance really for Bayern, that effort from Tell, and a couple of big chances for Köln, including a header for Adamian, and a header that he really should have scored with, and he's so well placed inside the penalty area. It's going to be a corner kick now, I think, over Bayern on this left-hand side, and there are plenty of big bodies forward here from the back. So Bayern 0, Köln 0. Here's the school referee just getting a little bit of help with his technical equipment and the VAR communication, and the fans aren't really happy with that. So the game remains 0-0. Referee's just still getting a little bit of treatment, and Harry Kane's lurking inside the penalty area, and now Bayern will take the corner kick, and they've got a couple of options over on this left-hand side. Will it be the right foot of Joshua Kimmich? I think it might be. In the end, it is touched towards Kimmich, and Kimmich takes it short, and Kimmich into the penalty area. It's a nice turn by Müller, and Müller back to Kimmich once more, and the ball still isn't in the penalty area. Now it's helped in, and it's half cleared by Köln. And Coman is there to try and pick up the pieces, and Coman will win a throw-in for Bayern on that left-hand side. Kingsley Coman then with the throw. And Bayern do gather once more. Play to the right-hand side and collected now by Eric Dyer. And now it is Eric Dyer once more, and Harry Kane has just dropped off. And Harry Kane goes to his right-hand side, and he's looking for De Ligt, and he's got Kimmich in support. Joshua Kimmich and De Ligt are exchanging passes. Now it's back with Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer swings the ball to his right-hand side, and it's Eric Dyer once again for Bayern. Now De Ligt, and now Joshua Kimmich on the right-hand side. Joshua Kimmich just cutting inside and feeding it now to his left-hand side, and finds Mazraoui. Mazraoui on the left-hand side, and now Tell. Tell goes back inside, and here come Bayern Munich once more. Bayern on the left-hand side, and it's gathered now by Harry Kane, who's dropping deep, and Harry Kane helps out and goes back towards Eric Dyer. Now De Ligt, and De Ligt to his right-hand side now, and finds Kingsley Coman, and now it's gathered by Pavlovic, and Pavlovic cutting inside, and it's Eric Dyer. Everyone behind the ball for Köln. Tell now. Here is Tell, who cuts inside, and Tell just lifts it inside towards the edge of the penalty area. Touch back now for Tell, and Müller was in there as well, and rather scrappily cleared by Köln. And now Eric Dyer has the ball for Bayern, and Bayern starting to move through the gears, you feel. Here is Kingsley Coleman on the right-hand side. It's gathered now by Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer inside the centre circle goes to De Ligt. De Ligt on the right-hand side, and it's collected now by Bayern, and it is gathered by Bayern just on the confines of the area. Here is Harry Kane. One touch, Harry Kane tried to slide it through. Did slide it through. That's a magnificent save from Schwaber. A really wonderful save from Schwaber to create the opportunity for Bayern, but Schwaber was just there to alleviate the danger. And my goodness, what a good chance that was for Bayern. And now they're starting to purr in the game in terms of exactly what they've managed to create. I mean, very, very impressive the way that Harry Kane managed to pirouette inside the penalty area. He's just really nicely done in terms of the quality he's got, the ability he's got just to really conjure something from nothing. And some of the link-up play between Harry Kane and Thomas Müller, very impressive indeed. There's options on the bench as well for Bayern today. The options of Choupo-Moting and Fonsa Davis, and then what a chance it was though that. It was beautifully done by Thomas Müller into Harry Kane, and Guerrero inside the area simply had to score. Just magnificent goalkeeping, it really is. Collected by Eric Dyer. Now the touch off, and it's helped on by Pavlovic, and now Kingsley Coleman swings it in and nodded behind by KOLN. And another corner kick now for Bayern with 30 minutes on the clock, and just possibly now a sense that Bayern are starting to click into gear and starting to kind of make things happen in the game. So a corner kick now for Bayern, and a corner kick which they will take, and swung in towards the back post and is kept alive too. And eventually the goalkeeper does come and gather with relative ease, and then it is rolled out to the left hand side, and KOLN will look to come away with the ball. It's Bayern who win the ball though on the left hand side, and Bayern steaming forwards now. Harry Kane and Thomas Müller the two options, and the final pass is just overcooked by Joshua Kimmich, and he's got his hands on his head because he knows that was a decent opportunity to fling the ball into a really good area. Couldn't quite do so though, could he? And so it remains Bayern 0, KOLN 0 in the game so far. Last game between these two in the league at the back end of last year, of course, was the game in which Musiala popped off the bench, popped off the well, the referee's got in the way there. Surely that's going to be a free kick. Referee says no, he's happy for play to continue, and forward come KOLN now on the left hand side. 32 minutes on the clock as KOLN are seeking the first goal of the game, and it's down the throat of the goalkeeper. And Ulreich did pretty well, to be honest, to get down low and get down well, and it was really well played in terms of just the power generated on the strike. It was Maina who had the dig from range, just cut in off that left hand side and had to go with his right foot. It was a comfortable one in the end for the Bayern goalkeeper, but certainly the suggestion that he did very well in terms of trying to find a way through. Bayern now have the ball with Harry Kane. Harry Kane's layoff doesn't quite find the intended target, and here come KOLN once again. And 7 changes from Thomas Tuchel today after that performance against Arsenal in midweek, which certainly would have taken a lot out of them. So KOLN have the ball on the left hand side, and it is knocked back towards the goalkeeper Schwabe, and Schwabe launches the ball forwards, and Bayern are in possession with Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer goes to De Ligt, and it's back now with Eric Dyer. And Eric Dyer just assessing his options left and right and wants the ball back. And forward come Bayern once again. And here is Tell, and Tell just cuts the ball infield, and it's gathered now by Guerrero. Guerrero goes to De Ligt, and De Ligt spins the ball out to the right-hand side, and Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich with the cross into the penalty area, but it's dealt with at the back by Hubers. And Harry Kane with the effort, and it's off the inside of the post and wide. My goodness, how close was Harry Kane to backing again for FC Bayern Munich? And my goodness, he was a lick of paint away from that being 1-0. Did everything right, did Harry Kane. Just places it perfectly in the corner, inside of the post and wide. That is so, so close. And Bayern with another big chance that they can't take. Now KOLN have the ball on the right hand side, and it is gathered by Bayern once more though, and Mazraoui does well defensively, and Bayern now coming forwards, and they're starting to play some nice stuff, and they've won themselves a free kick as well midway inside their own half. Is there going to be another yellow card here? Yes, there is. And the referee, who's in no doubt about that one, as Guerrero it was, who was trying to scamper away. And the foul by Adamian, his second yellow card of the season. Had that great chance that Adamian to find the back of the net. But it's a very good save from Ulreich, and you wonder really how many chances are KOLN going to have that are that good in the game. So it is kept on the right hand side now by Bayern. Played inside intelligently, looking for Thomas Müller. Didn't quite come off though, and KOLN will bring the ball away on the left hand side. Hoisted long, looking for Adamian. It's a very good header though by Eric Dyer. And now it's gathered once more by Bayern on the right hand side. Cleverly worked, and here comes Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman's got his chin up, and Kingsley Coman's rather overcooked the cross, but it will be gathered by Tell. And Tell tried to slip it through for Thomas Müller, but it didn't quite come off, and the ball is out of play for a goal kick for KOLN. So it remains 0-0 in the game so far. KOLN come out from the back on the right hand side and go down the line, but the flag is up, and the decision is given, and Maina is penalised for just drifting beyond the last man. Here come Bayern on the right hand side. Bayern now with the ball 2 yards in from the touchline. Kingsley Coman offloads to Joshua Kimmich, and Joshua Kimmich now inside the centre circle, and it's gathered by Eric Dyer, and Eric Dyer pings the ball out to the left hand side and collected by Tell. Tell goes inside now, and Tell once more. Tell with the options left and right, and Tell plays the ball inside. Eric Dyer zips the ball out to the right hand side, and intelligently so. Here it is now with Kingsley Coman. Guerrero has it midway inside the KOLN half, and Harry Kane's inside the penalty area. Harry Kane zips it across the face of goal, and that was 1 yard wide of the upright again, and Harry Kane is going really close in the game. It was well played by Harry Kane on the right hand side. The angle was really acute here, but he fancied it, did Harry Kane, and he's so close to bagging for Bayern again. Well, he hit the opposing post just a moment or so ago, and Harry Kane was pretty close to making it 1-0 once again, but with his stats this season, you can't really blame Harry Kane for going for goal himself. And it's Kingsley Coman on the right hand side. He all of a sudden finds Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller inside his own half, and Bayern just retaining the ball at this present moment in time. gathered now inside the centre circle, and the long ball played towards Tell. Tell's approaching the edge of the penalty area. Tell now for Bayern. Tell just dinks it up towards a good area. He's looking, I think, for the run of Thomas Müller, and it's regathered now by Bayern and regathered by Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer zips it to his right hand side, and Kingsley Coman does gather. Kingsley Coman on the right hand side. Kingsley Coman slips it back for Bayern, and it's gathered now by Bayern on that right hand side. Played down the line looking for Kingsley Coman, and Kingsley Coman's cutback doesn't quite come off, and with 6 minutes to play before half time, Bayern have the ball once again on the right hand side, and Joshua Kimmich has the ball now on the right hand side, and it's played inside the penalty area for Thomas Müller. Müller considered the cutback early. Thomas Müller still in possession. Bayern have the ball just outside the area, now swung in towards Tell, and it's gathered by Bayern again, and gathered by De Ligt to Coman on the right hand side, gathered now by Guerrero flicks the ball to the left hand side and to Tell goes inside to Eric Dyer now finds De Ligt, and De Ligt plays the ball down the line for Coman to Thomas Müller goes back inside now to Eric Dyer and De Ligt popping the ball around amongst themselves, and Eric Dyer goes to De Ligt on his right hand side, and it's gathered now. It is gathered now by Coman, and Coman goes to his right hand side, and it's swung into the penalty area now towards Harry Kane, and it's another really good save from the goalkeeper. How close is Harry Kane going to go in this first half? Once again, it's Harry Kane with the effort on goal. He's getting closer and closer as Harry Kane. You feel as though it's a matter of time before Kane manages to find the goal he craves, and he really should have done a little bit better there. A player of Harry Kane's, of course, undoubted quality. And Bayern win the ball back once again with Kingsley Coman. Coman tried to find a way through. It's gathered now by KOLN on the left hand side. Has the ball now with Maynard goes back inside, and now KOLN have the ball once again with Lubicic keeping it moving. Lubicic to Christensen, and gathered now by KOLN on the left hand side, and a point would be absolutely magnificent for KOLN in the game, as forward they come here with Lubicic trying to make things happen. 3 to aim inside the penalty area into a pretty good area, and the header wide of the post by Ali Dou. What a great chance that is for Ali Dou, and what a great chance that is for FC KOLN. The ball was flung into the penalty area, and Ali Dou was in a really good position. Yes, he's potentially just trying to arc his neck appropriately because the ball's slightly too high for him maybe, but KOLN with a great opportunity which they haven't taken. Remains Bayern 0, KOLN 0 in the game so far. And Bayern have the ball now on the right hand side as we approach half time. Bayern with Thomas Müller with the cutback into the penalty area. Chance now for Tell, and he kicks the ball onto the outside of the post, and it's another big chance for Bayern not taken. Tell was coming onto it, the ball went beyond Coman, and Tell just wrapping his right foot around the ball, and it's the post and wide. And my goodness, Bayern have had some big chances in this first half, some really big chances, and they've shut the woodwork a couple of times in the game. They haven't managed to find a way through. Some big chances in the game for Bayern, some big chances too, you could say, for KOLN though. So in terms of chances created for both sides, it's been that kind of half, hasn't it, where the chances have come, but neither side have been able as yet to take them. So it remains Bayern 0, KOLN 0, and as it stands, we're going to be going in at half-time with that as the score. And it's been a really watchable first half of football. And KOLN have the ball now on the right-hand side, and Ali Do. And Ali Do trying to make things happen. He had that big chance just a moment or so ago, did Ali Do. Ali Do goes down in a bit of a heap. And Ali Do is absolutely furious with 1 or 2 and says there should be a foul given in his favour. But nothing is given for him. And so ball is played long now for Bayern, and they've got some defending to do to KOLN here. As it's collected by Kingsley Coleman inside the penalty area. Great chance for Coleman, but his touch was just a slice too thick perhaps, and just meant that the ball went out of play in the end, when you could make the case that for Bayern was half decent opportunity. I mean, they've had so many of those, have Bayern, in the first half. Just the 1 additional minute to be played at the end of the opening 45. And so Bayern have the ball inside the KOLN half, and there is a sense that there have been so many chances for Bayern in this opening 45 minutes that I think KOLN will be very glad indeed to get in at half-time at 0-0, because a point would really be a very, very good result for the side who are battling relegation in the Bundesliga this season. And of course Bayern don't want to lose today and hand the title to Leverkusen earlier than they need to, but nonetheless there's an opportunity for Bayern just outside the penalty area as we approach half-time, and they've won themselves a corner kick on the right-hand side. Have Bayern the corner kick, which they will take from that right-hand side, and Thomas Müller does gather. Thomas Müller leaves the ball to Joshua Kimmich, and Joshua Kimmich is going to take this set-piece situation for Bayern. Joshua Kimmich will take it. Kimmich right-footed on the right-hand side, floats the ball into a pretty good area. The ball bounces invitingly now for Guerrero and is kept alive by Bayern as we approach half-time in the game. And the ball is now on the right-hand side for Bayern. It will be the final seconds of this first half, and it is going to be swung into the penalty area towards the back post, and well, Eric Dyer was there, and the goalkeeper just sees it harmlessly out of play, and that will be that in terms of the first half, and a first half where there have been lots of chances for Bayern, a fair few chances for KOLN as well, but the game does remain 0-0. For this contest between Bayern Munich against KOLN in Bavaria in the Bundesliga. It was a really entertaining opening 45 minutes of football, but no goals from either side. Plenty of chances for Bayern in that opening 45 minutes. Harry Kane struck the inside of the post, and Tell as well with an effort on the same post, just licking the outside of it. In terms of SC Köln, of course, are fighting for their status really in the top tier of German football. Well, they held their own at times. They did have a couple of opportunities themselves. Adamian probably with the best of the bunch, extracting a really good save from Ulreich in the Bayern goal. Of course, the tides are very much beyond Bayern Munich. We all know that this season, with Bayer Leverkusen possibly winning it tomorrow. But Bayern really will no doubt be wanting to retain a bit of momentum that they picked up in that draw against Arsenal in midweek. And for Köln, they will see if they can get away with it. A point today would be a magnificent result for them in terms of the Bundesliga standings, because when you look at the Bundesliga table and you look at Köln down there at the start of play on 17th position and 22 points on the board, just 4 wins all season, Köln have managed to acquire. Only scored 23 goals in 28 games. I mean, really unimpressive, you'd have to say, season for Köln, but they do retain the possibility of remaining in the top flight. Of course, in the Bundesliga, the bottom 2 go down, and the side in 16th has a relegation playoff with the side in the Bundesliga 2 that's also in that same position. So for Köln, they will be looking at Mainz just ahead of them on 1 point, and perhaps Bochum on 4 points above them on 26 points at the start of play, and thinking they can catch those two. You feel as though Wolfsburg and Union Berlin and others above them will probably be just about safe, but we'll wait to see how that one pans out today. So it is 0-0 in this contest between Bayern Munich and FC Köln, and we are up and underway at the start of the second half, and it is a set piece for Bayern, which they will launch long and forwards, looking towards, as ever, Harry Kane as the target. Didn't quite break for him though, and Köln now will gather in the right back slot, just flicking it up towards halfway. And now an opportunity for Bayern to mop up at the back, and De Ligt and Eric Dyer, who've been very impressive in this opening 45 minutes and at the early stages of the second half too. Kimmich just nods it on and over halfway, and Koeman now with a little pirouette right on halfway, and Koeman just evades one challenge and 2, and Koeman's still going, and he's got the overlapping run now of Thomas Müller, and Müller on the right hand side. Thomas Müller considered zipping the ball into the penalty area, opted not to do so, goes on his left foot, and now there could be an opportunity for Kimmich inside the box, and Joshua Kimmich will twist and turn, consider going down there, I think, Joshua Kimmich. Now he'll manage to dig out the cross, does dig out the cross, it's palmed away, drops now to Koeman. Koeman goes down, wants a penalty. Will it be a penalty? Well, the VAR will of course have a look at this. Koeman is down in a heap. I don't know if there was too much contact or whether Koeman just felt something. I think it's the latter. He's just holding the inside of his groin, Kingsley Coman. I think that will be his participation in the game over. There was no suggestion of a foul. Kingsley Coman just stretched that right leg and went down instantaneously. And well, initially I thought there was going to be a little bit of contact for the defender. It wasn't so, but Kingsley Coman's participation in this contest will be over, and of course that really does raise a huge question mark about whether he's going to be fit to play Arsenal in midweek, and you would suggest not, because Kingsley Coman, who's been very impressive today, just clutches his right leg in agony really, and he's still down, and I think Kingsley Coman will be missing the Champions League game against Arsenal in midweek. Well, he's back on his feet now, Kingsley Coman, but he's scarcely moving, and I mean, straight away he was clutching that right groin, and I think that was a clear demonstration that was Kingsley Coman, you feel, will be out for a little while with this, such as the ways, I mean, he can't even move as he's being taken off the field of play, Kingsley Coman. And so it is Bayern Munich 0, Köln 0 in the game, and there's going to be a substitution. It is of course going to be Jamal Musiala to come on for Bayern. So Musiala, we know, enjoys this fixture, scoring that goal last year in this contest that saw Bayern lift the title late on. Bayern do have the ball at the back, and now Köln actually have nicked it back and swung it out to the right-hand side. An opportunity for Köln to get good delivery into the penalty area. Flung into the box it goes, and Ulrich, the goalkeeper, on the second attempt just manages to gather. And Jamal Musiala is going to come on now, you feel, for Bayern, with Kingsley Coman's participation in the game over. And so Kingsley Coman is limping off the pitch, and Musiala is going to come on momentarily for the champions, the current champions, of course. Might not last and won't last much longer, of course, but Bayern will want to get a result today just to prolong Leverkusen from lifting the title. What a season Xabi Alonso and Leverkusen are having. I mean, one of the first sides in history, if they can do it, to go unbeaten across European and domestic competitions and do the treble. I mean, if they can go on and do it, Leverkusen, it would be something for the history books, wouldn't it? Well, Musiala is on, the number 42 for Bayern, Jamal Musiala. Just on in place, I should say, of Kingsley Coman, and that's a substitution really that will be very much like for like, with Musiala taking his place on the right-hand side as Coman was, and there might be an opportunity at some point to switch with Tell, who was starting on the left-hand side. Here's Eric Dyer right on halfway, rakes the pass out to the left-hand side and is collected now, and all of a sudden Bayern switch to playing Kimmich will gather. Thomas Müller back inside towards Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich just assessing his options, and Joshua Kimmich goes down to his right-hand side of Musiala, who instantaneously slips in his first involvement in the game. Musiala now just goes back inside for Bayern, and he finds Pavlovic, and Pavlovic keeps it moving to his left-hand side and finds Dyer. And Dyer and De Ligt popping the ball amongst themselves. De Ligt now goes down the line. It's collected by Tell. Tell now does gather and rolls his studs over the ball. Pavlovic with the touch, and Pavlovic back inside towards De Ligt, and now gathered by Dyer. Dyer scoops the ball out to his right-hand side, and Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich does gather. Joshua Kimmich pops the ball inside towards Musiala. Musiala hoisted inside. A chance now, and is gathered by Bayern on the edge of the penalty area. A chance for the strike on goal, which is faded over the crossbar. And it was Jamal Musiala who's involved instantaneously in the game, who pings it over the crossbar, and the ball was back for Musiala. Musiala pulled the trigger and smashed it over the crossbar for Bayern. Bayern 0, Köln 0 is the score with 52 minutes on the clock. And there's going to be a substitution here for Köln. Bayern have the ball in the centre of the park, and Goretzka and Guerrero, but those two lose out. All of a sudden Ljubicic does gather for Köln, and now on the right hand side Köln have it again and swung into the penalty. There's the header on goal, but Ulrich was always behind it. But there's no doubt that Köln have had a couple of half decent opportunities. Kainz with that one just heading the ball down, but gathered by the goalkeeper. Collected now by Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller pouring forwards for Bayern in towards Harry Kane. Back for Müller. Müller keeps it moving intelligently. Gathered now by Tell. Tell now drifting inside now. Tell with the effort on goal. Great save for the goalkeeper. And how this game has remained at 0-0, I don't know. It's a really good save from Schwaber. It was nicely done by Tell. Right-footed and an outstretched left arm from Schwaber. The goalkeeper turns it behind for a corner kick for Bayern, and Bayern have had so many opportunities in the game. They won't believe that the game remains at 0-0, but it does, and so it is a corner kick for Bayern, and the corner kick which will be swung into the penalty area. Corner kick then for Bayern on this hand side, and Bayern 0, Köln 0 is the score, but not for the lack of trying, because Bayern really have had so many opportunities in the game, and Köln themselves have created a fair amount too. Now the ball is back for Köln. It's swung into the penalty area. Eric Dyer is there to nod the ball away, and it's regathered now by Thomas Müller, and Thomas Müller rather carelessly gives the ball away, and Köln now will regather, and is collected now by the substitute. The substitute for well, it was actually gathered initially by Bayern, but they've given the ball away really cheaply, and I think that's been a cause of concern for Bayern in the game, because whilst they have created a lot of opportunities, they just haven't really been able to control the game in the way in which they would have liked. Bayern now bring the ball away on the left-hand side, and it's gathered now by Tell, and Tell just cuts inside, and Tell was, well, I think it just came off the arm of Tell, and that's why he's penalised. Waldschmidt is on now for KOLN. He replaces Kainz, so a bit of a like-for-like swap, as Waldschmidt will just sit in behind Adamian in the central striker position for FC Köln. Bayern 0, Köln 0 is the score. And forward come Köln on this left-hand side, and Finkgraf will surge forward. He's got plenty of options inside the penalty area as well. Across the face of goal, and in slids De Ligt. And De Ligt did well to put it out of play for a corner kick for Köln. And so Köln have a corner kick on the left-hand side. It will be Waldschmidt to take it. Waldschmidt is going to swing this one left-footed into the penalty area. Waldschmidt just lays it short, and it's gathered once again, and all of a sudden the angle's a bit different now for Ljubicic to just hang it into the penalty area, but it's poor really from Ljubicic, you'd have to say, and the ball is now out of play for a goal kick for Bayern, and no doubt there's going to be additional substitutions for Bayern Munich now, you feel, because well, you can understand the mentality from Bayern here. Of course, they'd love to win this game, but it really is all about the Champions League game with Arsenal, isn't it? Because that is the name of the game for them. Collected now by Bayern inside the centre circle, and clipped long, but it is going to be a free kick which Pavlovic has extracted from Köln, and Pavlovic gets the decision in his favour. Bayern now have the ball on the left-hand side, and Tell's trying to make things happen, and Tell cuts infield and finds Pavlovic once more. Pavlovic wedges the ball out to the right-hand side and finds Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich now to Thomas Müller. Müller tried to go back inside, looking for the run of Kimmich, couldn't do so. Bayern biting into the challenge as well. That's no free kicks, as the referee. Köln smashed the ball up towards halfway, and Köln are trying to make things happen now, but Eric Dyer and De Ligt have been really magnificent defensively this afternoon and biting into the challenges. Great physicality from the two centre-backs. Of course, when they bought Kim from Napoli, very much the thought was that Kim would slot in as centre-back for Bayern, but the form of Eric Dyer and De Ligt has just been too good, I think, to ignore, and therefore those two have been the two at the back for Bayern in recent weeks. Finkgraf will take the throw. Finkgraf launches it to the edge of the area and touching Thomas Müller, and so it is a free kick now which will be given to Bayern Munich as Thomas Müller goes down in a heap. Thomas Müller then for Bayern, and it is gathered now by Bayern on the left-hand side. Bayern have the ball just outside their own centre circle, gathered now by De Ligt, and De Ligt pings the ball forwards. Gathered now inside the centre circle for Bayern Munich, and the movement is on the left-hand side from Tell, and Tell does gather, and Tell now looking for the ball to be played on the outside, and Tell through the gap, and all of a sudden Bayern working it really nicely, and the ball's out of play and behind for a goal kick, and Thielmann just gives the thumbs up, and Bayern 0, Köln 0 remains the score with half an hour left to play. And so Bayern have the ball, have had the ball so many times in around the opposition final third, just haven't really been able to make the most of those kind of situations, have they? Haven't really been able to make the most of trying to find a way through, and they've struck the woodwork on a couple of occasions. and it is collected now by Dyer. Dyer now goes to the left-hand side, and it is Bayern who are dominating possession as ever in this game. Bayern have had so much of the ball with half an hour left to play. It's collected now by De Ligt, and De Ligt keeps it moving on the right-hand side and finds Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich inside, and forward come Bayern once more, and there was a throw-in, there will be a throw-in now for Bayern on that right-hand side. It's gathered by Joshua Kimmich, and Joshua Kimmich with the throw for Bayern Munich, and it comes back now for Joshua Kimmich, and Joshua Kimmich just drifting inside and outside, and Kimmich does gather, and Joshua Kimmich just inside the centre circle. Kimmich spins the ball to his left-hand side, and forward come Bayern once again, and Bayern now with Tell. Tell stretching his legs on the left-hand side. Tell's ball into the penalty area, and it's collected now by KOLN, and KOLN do have a throw-in deep inside their own half on the right-hand side. There's going to be a substitution now for Bayern. It looks as though Alphonso Davies and Upamecano are going to be the two players to come on, and De Ligt and Mazraoui are replaced. And the De Ligt substitution and the Mazraoui substitution, you feel very much with that game against Arsenal in mind. And so Davies will just slot in at left back for Mazraoui, and Upamecano on for De Ligt. And I don't think we should be too surprised to see Harry Kane get a bit of a breather at some point, and maybe Thomas Müller as well in about 10 minutes or so, with all the focus being on that game against Arsenal in the Champions League. So throw in now for KOLN on the right hand side, and eventually they lift it long towards halfway. Thomas Müller is back trying to pick up the pieces, but it will be KOLN to gather, and KOLN have the ball just outside their own penalty area, lift the ball up towards halfway, and it's regathered now by KOLN on halfway. Opportunity for Ljubicic to keep it moving, and he does just that to Ali Dou. And Ali Dou now goes on the outside, and Ali Dou with an opportunity for Bayern, and eventually the ball is swung into the penalty area, and that's pretty comfortable and regathered easily. And so Bayern will race out from the back, and it is going to be a throw-in now for Bayern on the right-hand side, which Joshua Kimmich will take. Joshua Kimmich with the throw for Bayern, and Pavlovic keeps it moving, and De Ligt and Eric Dyer, as they have done all afternoon, moving the ball intelligently amongst themselves. Collected now by Tell on the left-hand side. Tell goes on the outside, and Tell's ball into the penalty area was a pretty good one, and on the stretch Thomas Müller just couldn't quite get on the end of it, but you'd have to say it's a really nice ball played into the penalty area. Thomas Müller was absolutely screaming for it, and it goes just beyond him slightly and behind, and out of play for a throw-in. So Thomas Müller looks frustrated, he couldn't get on the end of it. Have been numerous opportunities in the game for Bayern so far, just haven't been able to find a way through. Was that a handball? Yes, it was, and a handball decision is given against KOLN, and given against Adamian, who was already yellow carded. It was a pretty deliberate handball as well, which is an interesting one. So Bayern have the ball with Upamecano, and Upamecano goes to his right hand side and finds Joshua Kimmich, and Joshua Kimmich inside intelligently, and all of a sudden Bayern are coming forwards once more, and Thomas Müller has the ball on the right hand side, and Müller considered floating the ball into the penalty area first time. Indeed he did attempt to do so, but the ball cannons off the KOLN player and out of play for a corner kick. And my goodness, just seeing the replay here on our monitors of the Adamian handball, surely should have been a second yellow card and a red card, but in any case it is a corner kick for Bayern, which Joshua Kimmich will take, and Joshua Kimmich will swing the ball and swing the corner into the penalty area. 64 minutes on the clock, and the ball is now played outside the penalty area, and that is a cracker for Bayern Munich, and what a way to take the lead. Guerrero with the hit from range, top corner stuff, and Bayern have the lead that their play so richly deserves. It's a beautiful strike from Guerrero. He does so well after the ball's cut back to him from Thomas Müller, and my goodness, it's a cracking goal for Bayern, worthy of winning any game really. They've been knocking at the door, and eventually they have a way through, and in magnificent fashion as well, because Guerrero on his left foot outside the penalty area just opted to pull the trigger, brought the ball out of his feet after Kimmich had offloaded, and he finds the top corner in style. Magnificent goal. Bayern Munich 1, KOLN 0. It's a wonderful goal from Bayern to take the lead in the game. Beautifully struck by Guerrero. Had the option of flinging the ball into the penalty area as well, but Guerrero just didn't need anyone. Opened up his body. It's postage stamp stuff, it really is. Just zips the ball into the top corner. Glorious goal. Bayern 1, KOLN 0. And Bayern are in front. Guerrero scores his third goal of the Bundesliga season. And KOLN now have a bit of a mountain to climb, don't they? Because, well, they had a couple of opportunities in the game so far, but Rafael Guerrero was just too good on that occasion. Here come KOLN on the right-hand side, but it's mopped up well by Bayern at the back, and mopped up well by Davies and Upamecano. And now Bayern will come out from the back once more. Gathered by Harry Kane. Harry Kane now to Musiala. Jamal Musiala for Bayern. Jamal Musiala on the edge of the penalty area. Musiala gliding inside, and he was trying to find Harry Kane, I think. Couldn't do so. And KOLN now will come away with the ball. Gathered once again by KOLN, but the big toe really from Upamecano is in there to poke it out of play for a throw in. And there's going to be another substitution here for KOLN. And it looks as though Tigges is going to come on here. And KOLN have got to throw a bit of caution to the wind, don't they? And Adamian is coming off, and Tigges is coming on, and there's also going to be a substitution. Schmidt is going to enter the field of play. So confirmation of those substitutions for Bayern. For 66 minutes on the clock, and Bayern leading by a goal to nil. Confirmation, rather, I should say, that Schmidt is on for Mena. And there's going to be a chance now, you feel, for Bayern on the counter, because KOLN have got no other option really but to throw everything at this Bayern side in search of an equalising goal in the game. That will be the name of the game for KOLN now, and they really just got to find a way to try to break down this Bayern side, which of course is easier said than done. And as the game wears on as well, Bayern understandably will be thinking about the possibility of resting a few more as the game against Arsenal comes into sight. And as it stands in the Bundesliga table, KOLN will remain on 22 points. They'll be 4 points behind Mainz. And don't forget, as it stands, KOLN are being relegated for the Bundesliga. Mainz, well, they're in the position of the relegation playoff place, which is a bit of a lifeline, really, they have here in the Bundesliga. Here is Tell on the left-hand side for Bayern. Tell just glides inside, and Tell lays it off now, and Bayern will come once again. Gathered now by Upamecano. Upamecano swings the ball out to the right-hand side, and Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich fizzes the ball into the penalty area. Harry Kane, as ever, was lurking. And ball is back now with Ulreich in the Bayern goal. Ulreich with the ball at his feet for Bayern. It is Bayern 1, KOLN 0. Bayern with the lead given to them in quite some style too by Rafael Guerrero. And Rafael Guerrero's goal separating the two teams. It was a stunning strike, wasn't it, by Rafael Guerrero. It's a really, really beautiful way to strike the football and ping the ball into the top corner. I mean, it's a goal worthy of winning any game, really, you'd have to say. So, 68 minutes on the clock, approaching 69 minutes now, and KOLN with work to do if they're to salvage anything from the game. And an opportunity now for Bayern on the left-hand side. Tell with the touch back inside, and the home fans now in really fabulous voice, gathered now by Bayern once again. Musiala keeps it moving. Upamecano gets a touch on the ball. Thomas Müller has Kimmich outside him. Joshua Kimmich on the right hand side. Joshua Kimmich and Thomas Müller, two really experienced players for Bayern, trading passes on the right hand side. Thomas Müller is down to walking pace, and that's actually because the game has stopped. The offside flag went up on the near side, and it will be a free kick to Köln with 20 minutes left to play. And the side, who are currently going to be relegated from the Bundesliga, are trailing by a goal to nil. So it is Bayern who are a goal to the goods in the game, and Bayern have the ball at the back, and it's gathered by Musiala. Musiala just cutting inside and cuts it back inside now. Musiala to Upamecano. Upamecano wedges the ball out to the left hand side, and here come Bayern Munich once more, and Harry Kane was the intended target. Quite come off for him though, did it? And Bayern have the ball once again on the left hand side, and it's collected now by Pavlovic, and Pavlovic hurdles the challenge and feeds it in towards Guerrero, the goal scorer. Back now with Upamecano. Upamecano finds Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich on that right hand side. Joshua Kimmich clips it forward looking towards Musiala. Musiala tries to go on the outside. Will that be a corner kick? No, I think it's just going to be a goal kick which Köln will take, and entering the stage of the game now where Köln really will be looking to take a gamble or two. They are staring down the barrel of relegation, are Köln. They need results. Scoring goals has been such a big problem for Köln this season. 23 and 28 games. I mean, not very impressive at all. Here they come though with Alidou. Alidou now on the outside of the penalty area. Alidou tries to go on the outside. Ball is skimming off the shins of Kimmich, and behind for a goal kick. Well, in fact, it came off Kimmich last, so it will be a corner kick for Köln, and Köln now with an opportunity from the corner to swing the ball into the penalty area. Kimmich now, and Waldschmidt swings the ball into the penalty area. There are one or two appeals for handball in the heart of the box, but it is Bayern who will bring it away. Bayern on the left hand side, gathered now and clipped away down the line, and regathered by Bayern, and collected now by Pavlovic, and he goes to his right hand side, and Upamecano finds Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller goes back inside for Upamecano. Upamecano inside towards Eric Dyer, and Eric Dyer finds Upamecano, and Upamecano just rolls his studs over the ball and goes back inside, and Bayern now content for a little bit of keep ball in the game, and it is Bayern who have the ball on the left hand side. Tell was the intended target down the flank, and is Tell going to be able to keep this one in play? Yes, he is, but eventually his touch just sees the ball go out of play for a goal kick for Köln, and there was a handball appeal against Guerrero, but waved away by the referee. And now Köln have the ball inside their own penalty area, swept to the right hand side and gathered by Thielmann, and Köln working it neatly enough within the confines of their own half. And now they come forward with Chabot. Chabot goes to find Alidou on the left hand side. Alidou has looked to be one of the players most likely in the game so far, and it's going to be a throw in now. Which Finkgraf will take. Finkgraf with the throw towards the edge of the penalty area. Forward come Bayern, and Bayern have the ball on the left hand side. Bayern have the ball in the form now of Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer goes to his right hand side on Upamecano, and it's all Bayern now in possession and with the ball. Gathered once again by Bayern and Davis. Davis just flicks the ball inside, and Bayern have the ball with Pavlovic, and Pavlovic keeps the ball moving and goes out to his right hand side, Upamecano. Upamecano slides it out now for Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich zips it down the line. Joshua Kimmich intelligently done for Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller tries to find Musiala. Jamal Musiala over the crossbar. There's a good chance actually for Jamal Musiala, a player of his quality, just on the fringes of the penalty area, but blazes his strike over the crossbar. The Bayern fans are bouncing though. They're certainly enjoying their afternoon in Bavaria as the sunshine is out and spring is very much around the corner. That is the feeling across Europe right now. But it is collected now by Schwabe, the goalkeeper, as another couple of substitutions are incoming for KOLN. Looks as though Downs is going to be one of the two players to come on, and Alidou is going to come off. And KOLN now just desperately trying to find something in the game to hang on to. I mean, they played really well in patches in the first half. They started the game really well, I thought. Alidou now on the left-hand side. 15 minutes left to play. Bayern 0, KOLN, or Bayern 1, KOLN 0, I should say. That wonderful goal scored by Guerrero to separate the two teams. And Alidou is going to be the player indeed to come off here. And Downs is on for Alidou. And I think Height's going to come on as well. A double substitution. And Downs, who comes on, Damien Downs, just 19 years of age. He's certainly a talented young boy. And Heinz is also on the field of play. Heinz, who is a defender, 30 years of age. He's going to come on now in this double substitution. Here come KOLN just outside the area. Strike on goal is a pretty decent one, but Ulreich was always behind it. It's a pretty comfortable save for Ulreich. And now it is really the final chapter in the game and the final chance for KOLN to throw bodies forward and try to create something, and for Bayern to secure the win. We would see them have really good momentum going into that second leg against Arsenal. I mean, they've been in such poor form recently, really, Bayern, that they need a little bit of something. I just wonder, I mean, even though Bayern have had a desperate season domestically, you do feel as though, you know, they could win the Champions League because of their experience in the competition. Elected now by Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich going forwards and finds Eric Dyer. Looks like he might be playing the whole 90 minutes, Eric Dyer. Two out there for Bayern, who I thought might have come off a little bit earlier to protect them for the game in midweek, but not so. And Ulreich easily gathers inside the Bayern penalty area and rolls the ball out for Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer now in turn has the ball for Bayern. Bayern in complete domination in the game. Gathered by Pavlovic. Pavlovic has played well today, just keeping things ticking in the middle of the field. Here is Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich inside, and Joshua Kimmich wants it back, and Bayern now are popping the ball around with a degree of confidence defensively. Eric Dyer now coming forwards, and Eric Dyer plays the ball forwards looking towards Davis, and Davis has got the run of Musiala alongside him, but KOLN win the ball back, and he's turned around the corner now, and Bayern will come again. And it's gathered now by Upamecano. Upamecano zips it in towards Musiala. Musiala lays the ball off intelligently. Forward come Bayern once more. Is that a free kick? Yes, it is. And a free kick because Pavlovic has gone down. So a free kick for Bayern Munich in the game. And here comes the substitution for Bayern. And Pavlovic is going to come on. And it looks as though Thomas Müller is also going to come off. That will no doubt be in mind of what will happen against Arsenal. Rafa Guerrero is one of the two players to come off, and his goal separating the two teams. It was a wonderful goal as well, wasn't it, from Rafa Guerrero? I I mean, he does have that in the locker. Leimar's coming on in his place, and confirmation that Goretzka's going to replace Pavlovic as well. There's a free kick now for Bayern with 11 minutes to play. Free kick in a half-decent position as well. It's pretty central, this for Bayern. Lots of bodies forward inside the penalty area. It's taken short now for Leimer to swing the ball into the penalty area, but it was a little bit too deep for everyone, if truth be told, and it goes out of play. Harry Kane was trying to latch on the end of it, but it was out of play in the end for a goal kick. So KOLN still alive in the contest. KOLN have the ball at the back, and they've struggled to create, haven't they, in terms of quality in the second half. Just hasn't quite been there for KOLN. Been a difficult afternoon for them. Started the game really well. Here is Waldschmidt. Waldschmidt keeps it moving intelligently to the right hand side, and Bayern, though, through Musiala, is trying to latch onto the ball and does. Jamal Musiala will come away with it now for Bayern, and Jamal Musiala's got his chin up. Jamal Musiala's got Harry Kane support. It is Harry Kane for Bayern, but the ball just cannons off the KOLN shirt straight back to Bayern Munich, and straight back to Harry Kane. Musiala is there. KOLN, though, do gather, and Bayern biting back in through Upamecano. Upamecano goes back inside and is gathered now by Kimmich, and it's collected now by Bayern, and Bayern are moving the ball around intelligently. It's nicely done by Bayern on the right hand side with Kingsley Coman, and so many chances really for Bayern to score 3 or 4 in this game. Now struck the woodwork a couple of times, and the likes of Tell and Coman have had opportunities, and Harry Kane as well, but it's like they're just going to have to settle for the 1-goal victory in this Bayern. And so it is Bayern 1, KOLN 0 in the game, and Bayern, who are still the champions, but Leverkusen, of course, who will become champions in very, very quick proximity. But Bayern, I mean, the season could still end in absolute triumph for them if they were to go on and win the Champions League. And my goodness, how impressive would that be for Thomas Tuchel, who is no doubt a great coach, Thomas Tuchel. I don't think there's any doubt about that. KOLN next match is home against Darmstadt, away at Mainz, and home against Freiburg. And the game away at Mainz, I'm not going to say it's must win for KOLN, but it certainly must not lose. And then home against Darmstadt and home against Freiburg, I mean, they might just fancy their chances, you know, of managing to go there and win. So forward come KOLN on the right hand side, just can't quite find a way through, and Musiala is there, and it's regathered now by Bayern on the left hand side, and Bayern now will swing the ball up towards halfway. Bayern with Thomas Müller, and Thomas Müller now picking the ball to the left hand side, and Jamal Musiala will latch onto it. Here is Jamal Musiala for Bayern. It's Musiala just outside the penalty area. Musiala might go alone. Musiala brings others into play, and Bayern have the ball still, and Bayern through Thomas Müller, and now it's collected by Tell, and Bayern now playing just outside the confines of the area. Will Tell fancy the crack at goal? Yes, he will, and Harry Kane was on the stretch but couldn't quite get there, and it is Bayern who still lead by a goal to nil. Harry Kane would have been offside anyway there, if truth be told. But it is now last chance saloon, you feel, somewhat for KOLN to try to grab a draw on the afternoon in the Bavarian sunshine. Been a glorious day in southern Germany today. Collected now by Dyer, and now collected by Thomas Müller inside the centre circle, and Müller keeps it moving and finds Tell. Here is Tell on the right hand side for Bayern Munich, approaching the penalty area. Tell with the step over. Tell goes on the outside, and Tell's effort just crashes over the crossbar in the end. Did the first part neat enough, did Tell, with the step overs left and right, and in the end just firing the ball over the crossbar, just couldn't quite get a grip on the effort, and so it is gathered at the back once more by KOLN. This game's not done just yet. There's still 5 minutes left to play, plus added on time at the end of the 90, and it is gathered at the back by Köln, and now it's an opportunity for Köln to reprocess the ball right at the back. They have it with Lubicic, and he's collected now, and Köln are playing out from the back, and Köln do have the ball once more with Lubicic, and Lubicic down that left-hand side, and now Heinz, and it's gathered now by Finkgraf. Finkgraf on the edge of the penalty area. Finkgraf are trying to find a way through, but Bayern rather calmly played themselves out of danger, at least they should have done, but Ulreich was on the stretch really, as he smashes it out of play for a throw-in for Köln. So, Bayern 1, Köln 0. Guerrero's goal was an absolute cracker, and that is the difference between the two sides in the game so far. So, the touch was back from Waldschmidt, and now it's hoisted in by Heinz, and it's gathered now at the back by Bayern, and pinged up towards halfway, but Köln biting back into the challenges, and Bayern have the ball once more, and now Köln have it on the left-hand side, and possession changing hands pretty readily, and no doubt that a sense of frustration for Köln, that whilst they've no disgrace at all about losing 1-0 against Bayern is there, but just the manner in which they did have chances in the game. Is that going to be a free kick? Yes, it is, and the referee might be tempted to bring out a yellow card here. Lubicic and Upamecano, well, in fact it's Tell who goes down in a heap, and both players legitimately went for the ball, and yeah, there's not too much in that, if truth be told. The ball was certainly there to be won from both players, and eventually Tell goes down in a heap. Well, both players are receiving a little bit of treatment. I think both are going to be okay, though. Tell is rather gingerly getting back to his feet. Lubicic as well. It was just a lunging challenge from both players with the ball there to be won. You wouldn't say really the studs are up on either side, though. I think just the left knee of Lubicic and the left shin makes contact with Tell, but nothing too problematic in terms of what the referee was thinking. And so it is Bayern 0, Köln. Bayern 1, Köln 0, I should say. Magnificent goal which you can scarcely forget. Did so on that occasion. Beautiful goal from Rafael Guerrero to open the scoring in the second half, and that is how it has remained. Köln now with the ball inside the centre circle. Is there time for them to nick one right at the death and produce a brilliant point on the afternoon? You've got bodies forward inside the penalty area, behind for a corner kick now for Köln, and perhaps just a glimmer of hope for their supporters, a glimmer of hope for the players out there. Davis was back there for Bayern to shepherd it behind for a corner kick. Corner kick then for Köln, which will be taken left-footed on the right-hand side. It will be taken by Waldschmidt. Waldschmidt does gather the ball and zips the ball towards the back post, and goalkeeper Ulreich had to get palms on it, and did, and just palms it away for a throw-in for Köln on the opposing flank on the left-hand side. And so it is Heinz who will take it, the number 3 for Köln, and Heinz has the opportunity to throw the ball forward, and it's gathered now by Finkgraf, and Finkgraf's looping ball into the penalty area as well, gathered by Ulreich, and Ulreich considered the early distribution, and indeed does just ping the ball up towards halfway. And Bayern have the ball at the back, and it's gathered by Joshua Kimmich, and Joshua Kimmich gathers and pings it to his left-hand side, and Bayern now very calmly in possession in the game. And Bayern are coasting now towards 3 points. They might be a little bit frustrated they haven't got the second goal, but you do feel as though Bayern will be satisfied with the performance out there today. Could be a chance now for Köln. What an opportunity it was on the rebound. Ulreich with the save, and my goodness, what a chance that was for FC Köln to pinch a point in Bavaria at the death. It's a wonderful opportunity, it really is. It's so sloppy from Upamecano, and Waldschmidt it was initially with the effort, And on the rebound, Ulreich made another good save, but really the chance was there for Waldschmidt. On the left foot, he would have wanted it. He just couldn't generate the required power or accuracy. And so, it is a corner kick which Waldschmidt will take. And he loops it up beyond everyone. And it's now regathered at the back by KOLN and swung back into the penalty area over the crossbar. And I think that might be the last really big chance that KOLN have in the game. And it really was well played, wasn't it? Just swung forward for KOLN, and Bayern and Upamecano with a terrible error, really. And what an opportunity for KOLN to pinch something right at the end of the game, and my goodness, that would have been something really special as well. But they just couldn't quite do it in the end. And wow, that's how close the margins are, really, between success and failure at this level. And it might be a bit of an indication as to why KOLN are where they are at the bottom of the table. Just can't take their chances in the really big moments, and that was a really big moment. Waldschmidt now gathers, and Waldschmidt has the ball for KOLN. There are 5 additional minutes to be played at the end of the 90, so the game's not done just yet. The game is not done just yet. It is gathered now by KOLN out the back, and a swinging ball out to the right hand side, and here come KOLN once again. KOLN now have the ball in the right back slot, swung into the penalty area. It is nodded behind for a corner kick, and Kimmich just looked a little bit nervous there. He wasn't quite sure what was around him, and this may play pretty favourably for KOLN now in the final exchanges of the game, because they've got a corner kick which Finkgraf will take. Finkgraf will possibly take it, but Waldschmidt is also there to give the option, left-footed, of swinging the ball into the penalty area. Not properly cleared, kept alive, and Bayern had to have bodies back there to alleviate the danger. And my goodness, this has become very nervy for Bayern. And it didn't really have to be, did it? Because Bayern have had the chances, and they've got an opportunity now to make it two. Cross to Harry Kane, but the ball is just a little bit too far in front of him. And the Bayern fans are frustrated with that, because, well, the flag had gone up in the end, but nonetheless, it was no doubt a really poor ball when Harry Kane should have really had a tap in. But Bayern have created this situation for themselves where there have been moments in the game where Harry Kane has had the ball in great positions. Harry Kane now for Bayern Munich. Harry Kane trying to squirm away through, and there could be an opportunity now for Thomas Müller. He's clean through. Thomas Müller wraps it up, and Bayern do have all 3 points, and it's the veteran Thomas Müller who celebrates. It was a gift, really, in the end, and it's a goal that Bayern have absolutely deserved on the balance of play. Thomas Müller is grinning ear to ear, and the Bayern fans are delighted. The perfect warm-up for their game against Arsenal in midweek in the Champions League. And Thomas Müller was clean through, had the option of going left or right, just passed the ball past the goalkeeper. It was Harry Kane initially. Harry Kane gathered and tried to find a way through, and eventually indecision at the heart of the KOLN back line, and Thomas Müller was through, slotted at home. It's Bayern Munich. It's Bayern Munich 2, FC KOLN 0, and Bayern are absolutely swaggering now towards the 3 points. And KOLN so sloppy at the back, and in fact it's Waldschmidt who had that opportunity earlier on to make it 1 apiece on the afternoon, who couldn't do so, and Thomas Müller was on hand to finish it up for Bayern. And really that's what Bayern deserve in terms of just how they played in the game, the chances they created. And if you're an Arsenal fan watching this, well, you would say that they do look dangerous, don't they, Bayern at home? The only real negative for Bayern on the afternoon was the fact that Koeman has picked up an injury, and it looked to me like an injury that will certainly see him out of the game against Arsenal in midweek, because he was clutching his right leg and his groin immediately. And for KOLN, well, they'll look back on 1 or 2 opportunities. I do think they'll look back on a header from Adamian in the first half, and they'll look at the effort from Waldschmidt in the second half, as the chances they had to get a goal But they didn't take either of them, and if you don't take the chances at this level, if you don't take the chances against Bayern Munich, of course you're going to be punished. You're going to be punished in devastating fashion, and that has been the case today. One wonderful goal from Guerrero, one neat finish from Thomas Müller, and that is why it is Bayern 2 and FC Köln 0 in the game. So here come Bayern into the opposing penalty area, but it's going to finish 2-0 here. It is Bayern 2, Köln 0. The full-time whistle has gone. Really frustrating afternoon for Köln because they had a couple of chances in the game, but really Bayern by far the better side. Guerrero's splendid finish, Thomas Müller emphatic as well. The perfect warm-up for the game against Arsenal in the Champions League in midweek. Finishes in Bavaria at the Allianz Stadium. Bayern 2, Köln 0.